everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Triggered. I'm your host, Zachary Clark, and you all know my co-host, Adam Furman. Adam, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Yeah! Got a great show for you folks tonight, so I hope you're strapped in, ready to go, and got yourself a ice cold whiskey. Sip it on down. What do you got tonight? You said your wife got you
Me?
some liquor.
Oh, I got some. She got me some Oktoberfest.
Oh, just beers? Just
Yes.
beers? Is that all? She's got you some beers? Ugh. These dames, they just don't know what it's like to be a man. They'll never know. Hashtag masculinity. Hashtag nothing toxic here. You know, Adam, I don't know if you know this, but ladies are the gentler sex. They take special minding, and oftentimes it results in conflict between the genders, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
Oftentimes things just exist in the ephemeral spaces between their intuition, instinct, what I like to call the vibes-based interactions. Undeniable, frankly, undeniable, and we're coming to you live straight from the mustering grounds for the Russian army, where ladies are excluded, but all us men are marched to our deaths in Ukraine. churn through the billions of American dollars spent on hardware and drones. I guess we could just human wave our way through this Western aggression and defeat those Nazis striking to us from Western Europe.
I gotta be honest with you. Wave after wave of Russian bodies has never been a winning strategy. Wait, I take that back. It did work at
Isn't it always
it did
worked?
work at Stalingrad.
I thought it always
It did
worked.
work at Stalingrad.
I don't think it's ever
No,
failed.
it only worked. It's only ever worked at Stalingrad.
Name me the times it's failed. Napoleon defeated.
No, they didn't even fight. They just ran. They burned all their crops and ran.
Afghanistan, clearly a victory. They won as good as we did. If we can call that winning.
The space race.
Wave after wave of Russian men sent right into space.
Someday we'll get it.
I don't know. Maybe,
Like I said,
what?
only Stalingrad was the win.
All of the Eastern Front.
It was almost a loss too, by the way. It was this close to being a loss.
Auschwitz, then and again, attack of the dead, 100 men facing the lead once again, 100 men, charge again, die again, cha, cha, cha. See, the Russians even have an epic metal anthem dedicated to...
Yeah, just throw body after body. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Even after they've been melted by mustard gas, the Russians don't quit. They're like the undead.
No, it's like the Korean War, you know.
And that's
Wave
when a
after
million
wave, send them.
Chinamen in pajamas stomped us to death.
We don't have weapons to give them. They can pick it off their dead bodies.
That's what my dad used to tell me, though. Yeah, he's like in Korea. He's like, we had them beat. And then 1 million Chinamen crossed the border in pajamas and stomped us to death. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he's like, yeah, that's why we had to invent the Claymore mine.
Oh, no.
Ugh. Lesson learned, lesson learned.
It wasn't lesson learned, Zachary. It was advice not heeded by one of the greatest American generals, Douglas MacArthur.
Well, he would have just turned that strip of China between leading into the Korean Peninsula into an unpassable nuclear
Yeah,
salted wasteland.
it would have been glass. Is what it would have been.
It would have irradiated any humans trying to walk across it.
He's like, no, see, Truman, these are the, I've already laid it out, the 5 cities that we need to find. And then also the strip of land here.
Truman just didn't have the guts to murder millions of Chinamen. Maybe it wasn't so bad. Some people think that nuclear war is a war that we should fight. And I've heard many disturbing things on that front. Wherein I thought that the threat of World War III appeared to have passed as the media rhetoric in the West had died down. There was much less of let's go to nuclear war with Russia over Ukraine aggression and stuff, and people just didn't care anymore. But now it's making a resurgence. Putin had his speech, and China's doing some very fun things over there.
Yeah, the time for nuclear war was like between 1945 and 1950.
Yeah, I don't know if we could. I don't know if it's a good idea, ever, but I thought that the threat had passed for this latest craze for it. I did just read today though
Oh no.
that part of all of this sanctions and stuff removed some political levers that we may have had on the Chinese to check their aggression in the South China Sea and in Taiwan. Apparently, like 80% of their oil and energy came by ship through a particular shipping lane that was controlled by the U.S. Navy and our sea superiority. But because Russia lost a market for all of its gas in Europe due to sanctions, they started just shipping it all to China, and China gladly gulped it all up. And now they no longer need that shipping lane in order to supply their energy needs.
Oh, weird.
So we could close
Maybe
that
actions
shipping
have
lane, and
unintended consequences.
yeah, they would not suffer the consequences if, say, they did something that resulted in economic sanctions against them from the United States. Very strange, very interesting.
You know that someone in the war room has never played one of those 4X video games. You know,
No Crusader
it's like,
Kings? Hey, you guys
yeah,
this
it's
is your
like,
homework the weekend. You're putting in 30 hours on Crusader Kings 2.
it's like, it's like, well, surely China would never adopt or accept this energy, right? Come on, dudes.
Yeah, well, they did, and now I don't know. I don't know what's going to shake out. All I know is I'm just glad that I'll be 40 in January, and these conscription guys will pass me over until things get real bad.
As I say, you're still gonna be damned up. So
Yeah, well, I mean, I will just be fighting a guerrilla war against the government here. I mean, supporting the patriots at home and our civil defense league.
by the government, you mean when the Chinese state?
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Anyway. Oh, Adam, did you know that local news is often presented by informal discourse through social media? Oftentimes you'll see it in Quincy on the scanner radio. Scanner radio.
They need some neon in the background and some bigger hair there.
Well, I'm halfway into my hair growing cycle, so in about 4 months I'll really have it rocking again.
get some hairspray and start teasing it out and stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get like a heavy metal riff. I can click the button and it'll play it right in that part. Scanner radio, scanner radio. Fourth and Oak, Quincy Police Department now with a female that drink a whole bottle of Fireball. Quincy Fire Department and EMS in rut. Oh,
The fire department for Fireball.
oh my gosh! EMS, Fire Department, and the Quincy Police were all called up for one lady who drank a whole bottle of Fireball. Out of control.
There's no way. Had a pump her stomach probably.
I would imagine. I've never drank an entire bottle of Fireball before. I have drank 3/4 of a fifth of Evan Williams on my own, many a time, and I was never very happy with myself.
Like those charts, it's like men, you could drink this, and it's like women, you could drink a fraction of that. Because of the way your body processes alcohol.
It's mostly like body weights and stuff. We're just larger humans in general.
Yeah, plus genetics have a factor too. Like if you're Northern European.
I don't know. There's a weird thing going around. I don't know if you heard about this, but there's like a Chinese internet app, and you upload a photograph, and the artificial intelligence allegedly assesses your physiognomy of your face structure against various peoples across the world. And it keeps popping up that I am of Central American descent, partially. It was all over the map. It didn't have a good read.
I do not know what you're talking about, but it sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty neat. I am a castizo. Is that what it is?
I think you have all the letters there. I'm not sure which order they go in.
I don't know either. Some sort of Central American Spanish descent.
Mestizo?
That's a different gradient.
Mosquito.
My libido! Yeah! I should go to karaoke and just sing all Nirvana songs tonight.
I hope someone hits you with rock. If you do.
People were having fun in the comments on this one, though. Update, fire extinguished. Stephanie Miller, you're still going to be able to detail tomorrow, correct? Lots of people calling out specific individuals that they believe were the ones that were the person involved in the Fireball incident. Very interesting, very cool. Kids, do not abuse alcohol. Drinking too much Fireball will lead to all three of the
Holly smokers. Holly smokes. Holly smokes.
Hope they're okay. Holy smokes. Holly smokes.
I've read that as Holly smokers. Holly smokes.
Yeah.
She must be a smoke show.
Must have been a dare. Saw her. She was laying face down on the sidewalk when I picked up my son and went by. There was a man and another woman standing there laughing. I thought it was a fight at first. Says Melissa Sconce. Yes, that was Melissa Sconce's voice. I was miming her.
What if the bottle was like, Zach, what if the bottle was like one of those like 99 cents?
It was me, Melissa Sconce. I saw the whole thing. It's pretty crappy that people can laugh at this, Melissa. Melissa says, I know, right? There were others around on that block that I'm sure saw it actually happen.
You need to pause so you can spit into the spittoon there.
That's alright, I got my boy and I got out of there. Didn't want to see no more of that scene. Oh, Melissa's a grizzled mountain man.
I think of Jeff Bridges. I don't know.
True grit. Nice. Oh, here's a message from the inbox. Let's see what they have to say. 18th Street from Chestnut to Spring. People stepping out into the street from between parked vehicles without looking or moving vehicles. A college kid was standing in the middle of 18th near Oak directing traffic. Avoid the QU area. Take an alternate route. Adam, were you diving out between cars as you were moving your family to the balloon glow last night?
I was gonna say this. Obviously, the balloon glow. You should avoid it. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Oh no, there's these people. They're diving into traffic. Completely avoided the hot air balloons as a visual distraction. I don't know.
I don't know. I had to drive by there, but I just went over a block. There was no traffic at all, and no one was diving between cars.
When we were driving there, we were driving in, and the cars were like you couldn't. It's basically a one-way streets. You know, you had to like kind of pull over or whatever and let the other people. But yeah, there was a few like huge speed bumps.
Yeah. I don't know. All I know is that usually when a pedestrian is trying to go across the street, it's just called jaywalking. Dun 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 dun. That's against the law.
I bet this person was in favor of banning BB guns.
Cross or walk in the street or road unlawfully or without regard for approaching traffic. Jaywalking. These people are criminals. It's called the pedestrian has the right of way, Jim.
Come on. What?
From where I'm from, it's a 50-point door prize. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. What I did see down here, I don't know if I can still find it, but it was. Oh no, where was it? Where was it? I done lost the response I was looking for. Oh, here it is. The city did not have the money to direct traffic this year. The money was spent to repair Quincy Airport for your uber-rich citizens. Rich people ruining Balloon Glow 18th Street passage.
I don't understand that at all.
Do you have paperwork to prove that? Oh, wait, says Rick. No one can prove it, so Rick won't believe.
Zach, what are we doing here?
I like how Cashed Out is the guy's name. First of all, I was being sarcastic. The city of Quincy's police department has $10 million budget. I'm sure they could have forked out a few bucks to drift traffic, kind of a pretty large amount. To Rick, Rich Croyer replies, true, but they are shorthanded until the new recruits finish training. That's my guess, but who knows?
Oh, gosh.
Rick Croyer, 7 to 10 officers short, is really not short-staffed. They become the revenue police for this town. Seems most are only interested in pulling you over for silly traffic violations. It's their job to pull you over for a traffic violation. 7 to 10 is short-staffed. Cashed. You are correct, it is their job, but they are a little excessive with the traffic violations here in Quincy. It seems they don't want to travel and hang out below 12th Street to the river, where most of the real crime is. I'm afraid it seems like this on a daily basis, multiple times a day, that I see police just hanging out in parking lots, chilling. Always a nice neighborhood, always in a shade tree. Picture, he's photographing the police.
Nice.
I've lived in this town all my life, over 40 years, and I can tell you that west of 12th Street has become a part of town that most people do not want to travel through after dark. With a $10 million budget, half the city of Quincy's $20 million budget, in my opinion, the Quincy Police Department could do better. Could do better. I don't know. I've never been pulled over by the police in town, but I believe Cashed here. He's lived here for 40 years. He's got the pedigree.
Okay, so this all spiraled up from the fact that there's no one in a reflective vest directing traffic.
Correct. There's too many
So I think,
jaywalkers diving out behind cars on 18th
yeah,
Street.
Zach, I think we should put on a reflective vest and just go out into the middle of an intersection and direct them next year.
I think we should do that randomly anyway.
People would. That's a great psychological experience.
I will walk.
People would be okay with it, I think.
I'll walk into the middle of Broadway.
Well, I mean, hey, we're trying to do an experiment.
I will be
for
hit
see
and
if people
killed by a
listen
car.
to you, not see if you're gonna die.
Anyway, alert! Alert! Missing dog alert! We found this dog, friends. It's a small puppy, brindle coated. He's lost. Do you know him? He was found today near R.J. Peters Drive. If you're this dog's owner, you can claim him at the animal shelter. Look at this cute little gentleman, lady, dog.
Yeah, cute. But it's a trap. You go there and claim it, and then they'll arrest you.
Oh, because what they did was they stole a criminal's dog? It's
Yeah, you know, like, hey,
like
you won a boat, and then you go and claim your boat, and it's like, hey, there's a warrant out for your arrest.
We caught you this time, sucker. Well, very well could be. But if you've seen this dog,
you know how
or
it is with the law enforcement and dogs.
Whose pup this is, you can claim them at the at the Western Illinois Veterinary Clinic. I do want to get a new dog, so maybe I'll get this one.
It's not yours.
Adam, the miracle of nature, strikes when you least expect it, and it struck hard outside of Liberty. Yes, that's right. Check this out. Storm cloud. Look at that thunderhead. Oh, the flashes of light and the power of the Lord Almighty coming down upon Liberty, Illinois.
I don't know that.
Scatter radio. Sorry that I just started playing the theme music again. A little out of sorts today. It's probably just the Hugo.
A Hugo.
Oh, something I picked up from my Croatian friends.
Oh, okay.
There's in different seasons in Croatia, the wind blows from different places. There's the warm wind that comes from the south over the sea, or the cold wind that comes from the north over the mountains that brings rain and things. And if the cold one comes in, people are in a bad mood and like, oh, that's just the Hugo, the Jugo. It's that, and people have even used it as like a defense in criminal trials and murder cases and stuff. They're like, it wasn't me, it was the Hugo. It came in, and it caused me to act out.
Murder this person.
Yes. So like the Twinkie defense sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? Are you familiar with the Twinkie defense?
And
Harvey Milk was murdered in San Francisco. And the guy who killed him used the defense that his diet was messed up, like he had eaten like too many Twinkies or something. He was just whacked out on junk food. Drove him insane temporarily. Acquitted. Twinkie defense.
What?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I will say this. I have small children, and if they have too much sugar, that I maybe I get it.
I mean, me too. I get it. I get it, bro. I get it. You don't want to be sent to prison for murder. Whatever it takes. uh. Breaking news! Breaking news! Breaking news! Xi Jinping likely removed from chairman of the military commission's post under the shadow of a military coup. Chinese military coup. Xi is rumored to have undergone a military coup. PLA special forces gathered at Shenyang Military Airport under the orders of Li Keqiang.
You're terrible.
What?
Nothing.
Are you objecting to my Mandarin? Well, if you have the linguistics, correct my pronunciations, I guess. But otherwise, shut up. Yeah.
I guess continue on.
So it appears that there has been some sort of either a political shuffle or Xi Jinping himself is under some sort of medical or other incapacitation in China, and this on top of their expansionist aggression in the South China Sea and with Taiwan, as well as previously mentioned uh, removal of disincentives for engaging in conduct that could elicit sanctions. That this may be a turning point, and we could be facing global war in East Asia.
Civil war. Oh wait, yeah, global war.
Now you have civil war. One more brick in the wall of potential global war. Once again, global war is becoming more likely. I feel the vibe, my vibes based conclusion of reaching out into the ether, getting in touch with my feminine side, reaching out with my intuition. I sense, Adam, I sense that global war could be creeping back in to a possible future that I can sense when I turn the inward eye and I look into that place that no man should look. It's where my uterus would be if I was a lady.
Oh, please.
No comment on that. Oh. Well, I know President Vladimir Putin also re-kicked off the increased focus on global war when he was set to address his nation, and he was anticipated to order full mobilization of his country's military. I don't believe it turned out to be that severe, but it was turned on increased mobilization and increasing enlistments for supporting the
Yeah,
Ukrainian war.
I think he basically called up his reserves, which I think this is it. Wasn't this supposed to be done within like 2 weeks? Wasn't this supposed to be done by May, Victory Day? Uh,
Oh, you mean the war in general?
yeah,
Yeah, they
I
stalled out
like
and never took Kiev.
no one knows what like whatever. I don't even know what is actually going on. I don't think anyone knows.
Oh, I do know that apparently Russian airlines have ordered to stop selling tickets to Russian men aged 18 to 65.
Oh, 18 to 65. Whoa.
If you're 18 to 65, well, the scuttlebutt was that upon Putin, the announcement even of Putin's speech, people began to flee the country, and half of this is probably propaganda by
Yeah.
Western media trying to delegitimize any sort of Russian aggression and make it seem like they are unwilling to fight this war. But I think there's probably some of this happening where people are trying to flee Russia instead of being subject to the new muster to go fight and die in Ukraine, being throwing human after human into the meat grinder of billions of American dollars in hardware.
Yes. Who
So
comes who comes out alive? Human after human or billion after billion of American dollars? We don't know.
I will spend every last dime of your money in Ukraine to kill Russians.
Hey, Joe, 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 keep where are you going, Joe?
But so I don't know, but this is something then that would make sense in the context of that, where they were trying to prevent people from fleeing the country so that they could then be enlisted. I think there was like at bus stations and stuff, they were pulling people off the buses and stuff. And I remember something similar happened, but it had a completely different narrative tone, if you recall. Early days of the Ukraine war, and we even talked about it
Yes.
here. They were stopping buses trying to of refugees leaving Ukraine, and they were pulling guys off the buses and pulling them into service.
Yeah, right. We talked about that as far as refugees. That you're a man, stand and fight for a country. There's, generally speaking, women and children, refugees, yes. Men, no, go back and fight for your country.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always said that we should probably be training refugees in camps someplace to form liberation armies to go back to defeat the evil
Yeah,
that caused them to flee
or-
their land in the first place. No, just
oh
settle
yeah,
here for the rest of your days, wee lad. No, send them back. You must go back and fight. We will arm you.
yeah.
It's like,
No, gosh, could you imagine that reputation? Like, it's like, oh, they're fleeing, and it's just like, oh wait, they're fleeing to America. It's like,
they're
yes,
going to
we will
come
take
back.
you, we will train you, you will become a loose cannon, and we will point you back right at your homeland, and you can retake it.
We will give each refugees the 2,000 rounds of ammunitions and an M4, selectable fire rifle.
Every every four-man team will get a stinger
Oh yes, yes.
or javelin now, I think.
And we will deliver you back to your homeland. What else you want? Anyway, that'd be my elect me president. uh, I don't think any president that we're ever going to have for the rest of the existence of America will ever be that cool.
No,
There is
I
hope. There's hope.
unfortunately.
I did see today. I just saw that Trump, when he was in negotiations with some Taliban guys, he's like, I said, I told him not to mess with us, and I sent him a picture. It was a satellite photograph of his house.
Oh, the Taliban guy?
Yeah. Uh, I'm like, wow. You know, Trump Trump was an insane person, but I do miss him sometimes. Stuff like that,
that is nuts.
stuff like that happens, and I'm just like, you know, really wish that he was president right now.
Well, because it's like Zach, there'd be some spook CIA agent who would be the one to say that, right? You'd be like, ugh, do this or this, but but no, it is the man himself, Mr. President.
I was on Zoom. I was on Zoom, and there he was, the Taliban guy. He started talking a bunch of trash, and so I had to tell him. I said, "Hey, I had to tell him. I had to tell him straight. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me."
It's like I had to counsel little John on The Apprentice. Don't mess with me.
He didn't take me seriously, so I told Jim, Jim, he's my favorite, best, perfect agent, no one better. I tell you, no agent better than Jim. I said, Jim, show him the picture. Jim said, "Are you sure, Mr. President?" I said, "Do it. Show it to him." Slid it across the table, and the look on his face, he realized that was his house. Ended negotiation, gave us everything we wanted. Boom. Well, what happened was President Trump made a deal. You see, he made a deal, and I stuck with the deal. And there was the deal was that we left, and we left. So I left. We left him. We left him there. We left everyone there.
No.
I don't know, different strategies, different administrations. Who's to say which one was better? Adam, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. But imagine, I guess we could speculate if instead of Trump, Hillary Clinton had been elected in 2016. You know, you got that feminine energy in there. Feminine energy in the masculine, historically masculine role of the presidency. Some people don't think that's right. In fact, some people don't think that women should even be allowed to be pastors. The pastoral office is a masculine vocation. Women cannot be pastors any more than they can be husbands or fathers. What?
Are you? You're gonna faint.
The funniest part about women's ordination crowd is how they're always screaming, "How could you deny the church the gifts of women?" Is women being responsible for like 90% of Christians coming to the faith not enough for you? Feminism hates motherhood. That's because motherhood's a prison, man. It's a prison, locked in a prison, and that's why the only way women have value is when they act like men. Oh, oh no.
There you go. There's the you hit the nail on the head.
And then ironically posting, "Sure, you may have several passages of scripture directly addressing ordination and explicitly forbidding women from carrying out the pastoral duties according to the created order, but I have two brief passages about women vaguely being helpful."
Vaguely being helpful.
In support of women ordination, always bringing their A game. To which a person responds, nah, you have 1 Corinthians 14:34-35, which is not historical Paul's sentiment and denying the truth of Scripture. Also, you have the writings of the pastor, i.e. pseudo-Paul, whose forgeries are not found in the oldest codices. There are women apostles, deacons, and bishops in the ancient and medieval church, Adam.
The women bishops? I've never heard of
I
that.
don't know. This guy had the perfect response. Average atheist. uh,
Oh,
and
man.
also, please say Christ is Lord. I don't think I could say that. You're making me say things. Don't know that I could confess Christ as Lord. Adam, Christ is Lord. Do you agree?
Oh, yes, Christ is Lord.
Christ is Lord. I don't know what's so hard about that, Christians. In fact, that's the test.
Yeah, that is the test.
If they refuse to acknowledge Christ as Lord, they are literally the Antichrist. I say you should probably be able to pick up rocks at that point. What modern law dictates. You're not just to let a stone blasphemous heretics in the street. Yet.
Oh, I'm sure there's some blasphemy laws still on the books back. Just unenforced.
We need to put some more back on there, maybe.
Get some test cases.
Adam, are you not aware of the numerous biblical scholars, parentheses, who hate God and devote their lives to the denial of the scriptures and whose supposed scholarship is laughably poor on account of it, are quite certain that the early church was filled with female bishops? I wonder if he's directly responding to that last gentleman.
I am aware of this. Oh man.
But I don't know, because a hip response to this stuff has been sort of like a modern conception of a biblical or traditional idea called complementarianism, which I didn't even hear about until probably like 7 years ago or something like this.
Oh yes.
Yeah, basically they say that men and women have different strengths and roles in society, in the church in general, and these innate social roles are more suited to them than the other. So there are things that men aren't allowed to do or can't do, and there's things that women aren't allowed to do and can't do. And that's the way it is, bro. Maybe there's a reason for that.
Yes.
Maybe.
What if we can turn to scripture?
What?
I said, what if we can turn to scripture and see if there's differences between men and women and their roles and what God says. I don't know.
Adam, as we just covered, those people that are disagreeing with this don't believe that the scripture is true. They think that was a fake guy.
Yeah, exactly. You lose your voice. I mean, it's just not only with the female pastoral roles, but even just with like the resurrection of Christ, they'll be like analyzing. Their scholarship is like, oh yeah, oh yes, ooh, the manuscripts say that yes, oh, it's completely true as far as what the manuscripts say, but it's false. Like that's their stuff. It's like they're like, oh yes, this is dated at whatever 70 A.D. and then they'll be like, but and we've cross-checked it with the ancient Roman histories and ancient Jewish histories, and it's all true. It checks, except this thing I've never seen before in my life, so obviously it's false. And that's like that's not like the guy. He's like advertise his response or whatever.
Yeah. They deny Christ, and they deny Scripture, and they I don't even know what their doctrine is on. It's very difficult for me, but
Oh, they try and delineate from a quote. They'll call it the traditional Christian uh, account of Jesus and the Gospels. They'll call that like the mythological Jesus, and then they'll separate that from what they call the historical Jesus, which is what they make up.
yeah, that's what
And
I'm
there's a
saying. What
whole
is that
thing.
based
It's like
on?
it's based on their vibes. Because they've even
Vibes.
done it with the
Once again,
one
Adam.
of the yes, yes. Once
Very
again,
and very
they've even
interesting.
done it with
Oftentimes,
there's one
who are the
called
pastors? Who are the pastors of these churches?
oh dude, you know. It's like that it's like that interview on Meet the Press or whatever, Face the Nation, whatever that one was with Doug Wilson, and like he was just like, "This is Christianity." Well, of course. And then they're like, "But some Christians think otherwise. Look at this female pastor from this Unitarian church." And she's like, "Oh, it's totally not what Christianity is all about." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "No, why would you grab a Unitarian like even even like why would you grab a Unitarian?" Even like the heretical Presbyterians would be like, "Oh wait, Unitarian? No."
You gotta work with what you got. Not to mention, but in that Doug Wilson, that town is only 25,000 people, and he's got active 2,000 member congregation. And Quincy
Yeah,
is like twice that size, and I don't know a single church in this town
okay.
that's got 2,000 active congregants.
You would. Well, you'd have to look at the Crossing and the Madison Park
Yeah,
Church
those would be the only two that would get close, I would think. And I don't even think that they have
as
many
far
that
as the
have.
percentage wise,
Like, if does the Crossing
10%
have
of
2,000 active members? Like that go
they
to church every
deflate
Sunday
them. Yes,
in Quincy.
in Quincy, yes, yes, in Quincy, yes.
They have 2,000 people attend those services on Sunday,
They've got three services
and
to, for the weekend,
they have 2,000 people
and
attend
they've
those
got
services.
two locations in Quincy.
See, that would be the only one. So the literal largest congregation in a town twice the size of the one that Doug Wilson's church in is the only church of our community that would be comparable to it. And like, oh, this
Yeah.
fringe group, they only have 2,000 people that attend. Oh, they're not even very big and important church in town.
Well, and I guarantee you that, and I guarantee you that that church, I forgot what it's called, over in Moscow. Well, Moscow. I don't forget how you pronounce that, but they probably have actual like uh, more like stricter membership methods, I guess we could call it.
At
But yeah,
Doug Wilson's church
uh,
in Idaho? Is that what you're talking about?
they would have a stricter one than here in the Grand City. It's interesting. I actually read about it. His dad, I think his dad actually planted the church there strategically because it's like by two college towns, two university towns. Because there's that one over in Washington, like 20 miles away or whatever. They strategically planted. They looked at it and said, "Where do people need Jesus?" And they looked and they saw two university towns, like right here.
Yeah. That whole thing though was a attempt to downplay the significance and reach of this guy's church in the community and how it was contra to the culture of the town.
Oh yeah, but
That was like
that's actually not
the whole
critical.
narrative of that thing was then to counter. He was on there. They gave him his fair time to say his thing, and then they had Unitarian people say, "Oh, it's not like that," and they had people in the town say, "No, I was offended. I had to leave," and they had people come in and say, "That's not what this town's all about." And yeah, at the same time, they have
His son created a Netflix series, Hello Ninja. I mean, it's like he's a best-selling author too.
yeah,
Outside of their established canon press, he was in the New York publishing houses back in the mid 2000s. So it's not like these guys are, these fringe, nobody likes their stuff type deal.
right.
I think you're right, where it's like, it's look at these extremists. Can you believe that they believe Jesus is Lord?
So, Unitarian minister, ma'am, would you please confess that Christ is Lord? Well, I do believe that Christ was an important figure, especially here in our church.
Yeah,
Like, okay. But is he Lord?
yeah.
I don't know. No. Oh, weird, interesting. I don't know, Adam. I don't know. Maybe it's something. Maybe it's something I haven't quite put my finger on yet. Who knows? Maybe these next couple stories might illuminate things.
Oh, oh,
Oh, look, Mythbusters was a fun show. Carrie Byron, a Mythbusters famous lady, she was on that show. Very, very popular character, person, engineer, buster. A man just stopped me to ask if I'm a car mechanic. My first thought was, oh, does he need jumper cables? Then I realized it's because I'm wearing my coveralls. I said, no, these are my Eton pants. Can't fit in my skinny jeans no more. He laughs without detecting any sarcasm. I'm pretty sure this is the same guy that wants you to name 3 songs of the band shirt you're wearing from the concert you went to. But as a girl, you clearly couldn't have loved. Just another day being a woman, justifying your existence. Hashtag mansplaining. To which someone had screen capped this and posted it, and he just said, trying to figure out why the lady from Mythbusters is so annoyed about a guy asking her a question, laughing at her joke, and then leaving her alone. So
did
annoyed.
she post this with that picture?
Yes.
Why would you? Why would you say? It's like, oh, hey, look at me on the beach in the sunset. Also, did you know this?
Literally everything she's mad about, according to this post, is a head canon she made up about the guy and not anything he actually did. You just know it's true, Adam. You just know it's true. You can feel it. I intuit it. I can feel the vibes.
Hey. So sometimes those vibes ring true.
Oh. Hey, there's another example, though. Maybe Contra, though. Don Lemon is stunned, I say, into silence when a royal commentator says African kings, not British royals, should pay reparations for slavery because they were rounding up their own people and had them waiting in cages on beaches. Yes, that's right. Don Lemon brings up reparations with this British lady, and she's just like, yes, what about my reparations?
Thanks, that's mine.
This wealth, and you hear about well, this is coming when there's all of this wealth, and you hear about it comes as England is facing rising costs of living, a living crisis, austerity budget cuts, and so on. And then you have those who are asking for reparations for colonialism, and they're wondering, $100 billion, $24 billion here and there, 500 million there. Some people want to be paid back, and members of the public are wondering, why are we suffering when you are, you have all of this vast wealth? Those are legitimate concerns.
So that's basically it. Don Lemon's like, people want reparations, and they say, you guys got all the money right now because, I don't know, you succeeded in extraditing yourself from Europe and have been economically successful in these times. And basically, she just goes into and says, "Oh, yes, yes, Great Britain, yes, yes, reparations, very good idea. We were the first nation on the entire earth to outlaw slavery. And then we spent blood and treasure to fight the slavers in Africa. Men died on the seas, fighting African nations who were attempting to perpetuate the slave trade. And we were battling them. And so, yes, I do believe that those African nations should pay us reparations for our losses." That's when the vibes really strike home. Vibes are so powerful, Adam. Vibes are probably much stronger than reason. Much stronger than rationality. It's vibes based.
You're right, though. You're right. I think you are right. Vibes get their way.
This is what I'm saying. It's so strong, but it's like the wind, uncontrollable. And there's really, it takes a master of the sea, I'll say, to be able to tame the winds and to direct them, harness them, if you will, to drive the ship on the mission. Maybe one day, such a mariner will take the helm of this great ship. But not today. Not today. Anyway, it's getting late. What do we got?
All right.
Where's Ice?
Okay,
Where's Ice Tea? Yeah, with our ice cold fact of the week. Ice cold fact. If it makes you happy, go for it. They gonna talk about you anyway. Ice cold fact. And it's true. It's true. You gotta do what you want to do. The thing is, oftentimes people have trouble figuring out what it is that will make them happy.
Truly happy.
Exactly correct. Petty and hedonic pleasures themselves might give you fleeting pleasure, but no happiness will result from your debauchery. Anyway, folks, that's the show today. Hope you liked it. Hope you did so much that you're going to hit that button. You better hit that button. You better subscribe to this channel. I'm telling you right now.
We will vibe you to death.
Vibes coming straight at you. You can follow us on social media. Our social media handles are on the screen. We got at Adam S. Furman, at Zachary W_Clark, and at Triggered_Media. Adam, did you have anything that you would like to add here at the end of the show?
I do not know.
Awesome, very good, and that's it. That's the deal. That's the time we have tonight, but we will, of course, see you next time on Triggered. Good night.